Hi, my name is Cindy Campbell-Stone, and I'm in Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia. And today I'm going to read to you from the Bluenose Ghost collected by Helen Creighton. And this is from the chapter, one of my favorites, called So Many Wandering Women. Dr. Robinson of Annapolis Royal used to hear the story of the Grey Lady, and if my memory serves me faithfully, it was from his family that I learned of his meeting with her. It happened one night when he was driving home from a call. He came to an elbow in the road where there was a small bridge that crossed a brook, and there were alder thickets that grew close to the side of the road. As he drew near the bridge, his horse stopped. The doctor urged it on, but it snorted and jumped and stamped. He got out of his old-fashioned gig with its big spider wheels and went to the horse's head. There he saw the Grey Lady standing in front of the horse and trying to stop him. As he approached, she disappeared from sight. The horse was so agitated that he took it by the bridle and led it along. When they got to the bridge, he discovered that it had been washed out by a spring freshet, and if he had not stopped in this extraordinary way, he would probably have had a bad accident. He recalled then that other people had told of seeing her on this bridge, and that her appearance was usually a warning of one kind or another. This was a foggy night when he would not have been able to see the gap until too late. Whether it was the same Grey Lady he saw upon another occasion or not, he was never able to determine. If so, she must have occasionally have rambled. He was driving between the towns of Digby and Weymouth with the school principal of that time, Mr. Logan. They were both surprised to see a woman in a long grey cloak and bonnet upon the road, who did not walk, but trotted. Several times they jogged the horse and passed her, but in each case she quickly caught up again and took her place ahead of them, as she had done to Mr. and Mrs. Greatorex. They noticed then that she wore hoops and that her cloak was spread over them. She finally disappeared in the bushes that grew along the roadside. In this case, they knew of no reason for her appearance, and it is possible that she was an entirely different phantom. A Mr. Mills of Upper Granville had quite a different story, and there was nothing pleasurable or helpful about the way he saw her. He said he was on the marsh one morning when she appeared before him, but she was such a filmy wraith that he could see the fence right through her. She did not look to him like a person who had come to do a kindly service, and he was so frightened that he took to his heels and he fled. Another man who reacted this way was Mr. Roy Condon, according to my friends at Port Wade. He was working on a wood boat, and in order to get back in time from the place that he lived, he had to walk to the shore at 2 a.m. He noticed a lady coming towards him, and he moved over close to her and said, "Good evening." She didn't speak. That surprised him, and he wondered what woman would be traveling the road at that hour, so he turned to look at her again, but there was no one there. He recalled all the things he had heard about the Grey Lady then, and when he did, he ran so fast he tumbled into the bottom of the boat without even waiting to take the ladder. Talk about the Grey Lady spread so widely that everybody in the district knew about her, and she was often the subject of conversation throughout the whole countryside. But alas, her story had a tragic end. You will have gathered long before this that Nova Scotians love to play tricks on one another, and will do so at the slightest provocation. Those who feared the unknown were particularly vulnerable. In those days, before the motor car brought new people and new thoughts to outlying communities, and before radio and television invaded their homes, the staple form of entertainment was all too often the telling of ghostly yarns. Children heard them almost from infancy, and therefore grew up with an exaggerated fear of the dark. Well, the day came when the young people of Granville were to have an old-fashioned hayride and picnic, and one young man thought it would be fun to impersonate the Grey Lady. He waited until the picnic party was returning home after dark, Then he jumped over a stone wall dressed in a sheet. Unfortunately, one member of the party had a revolver, probably for target shooting at the picnic. Without waiting to investigate, he drew his revolver and fired, killing the impersonator. This seems like a strange way to lay a ghost, but from all I have been able to learn, the Grey Lady has not been seen since. Bluenose Ghost by Helen Creighton. Thank you for listening.